blind call me. He's like, yo, what are you doing? Like, bro, I'm just buying NFTs. Yo, welcome everybody. This is Live Mastery first podcast ever. What basically that means is we're gonna start doing a series of podcasts to bring on entrepreneurs, self-made, 6 and 7 figure earners into the podcast and ask them a few questions about how they made it, how they got to where they at, and their story. Because I think their story and how they got to where they at, there's a lot for us to learn from that, from their mistakes, from their experience, for everything. So I'm pumped, I'm excited because here today we have a good friend of mine, and he has an incredible story to tell us about how he was able to profit over $40,000 in just a matter of 3 weeks. And I said that right, $40,000 profit doing flipping NFTs in, well, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about how it is that he got there, and he's going to tell you his story. But the point is, $40,000 in 3 weeks flipping NFTs. And he's here to tell you how he did it. What's up, bro? What?
Let's go, man. Yo.
How exciting.
Go. Alright, so, hey, we have a podcast going on here. I'm glad that I made it to the Live Mastery podcast.
Let's go.
Yo, this is the first podcast. It's the first ever. It's the first appearance ever of the Live Mastery podcast, so it has a lot of value. But yeah, man, just glad to be here. It's been a crazy 2 months.
Let's go.
The last of 2021 was kind of crazy. The income was on zero for a few months of the last of the year, and then NFTs came inside my life. I was like, yo, like I see it. I see you
rocking the beanie. I see you rocking the beanie, bro. Yo, it's fire.
I bought this when I first got started on Vivi. I had not made a single penny, but that's how much I believed in Vivi and everything that was going on. I spent like weeks just watching videos and learning from people on YouTube.
So $40,000 in 3 weeks. I mean, that's a story to tell. So let's take the audience back to the start. Tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, and how did you come across BB and all this NFTs platform, right?
Who I am. So I was born and raised in Cuba. I came here to the US. Went to school. I was very focused on school first, and then my new campus right here, the host of the podcast, he introduced me to a business back then, and he said, hey, like, I don't know if we're gonna make it or not. I just know that with this, I can't retire my mom and help my family. I was like, yo, I want to do the same. So I joined inside the business with him, and since then we have been doing business. We both dropped out of college. It's been crazy ups and downs, especially the last few months of 2021. We had like a big epiphanies in our lives, our businesses, but like we're always looking for those like next waves, right? So the reason why I found NFTs is not only because I saw it on the internet, but I followed the story of one of my mentors, Jeff Seckinger, that he started with credit, right? He built like a lot of wealth with credit. And after that, he saw the new wave with crypto, and he jumped right away into crypto, right? So it was basically riding those like waves, and he made a lot of money out of it. So I saw this new wave of NFTs before like not a lot of people were talking about it, but 2 months back, not everybody was talking about it. So I was like, yo, it's gonna be like a huge wave, and I gotta take advantage of it because we don't know when the next wave is going to come. So I started doing my research. I started seeing Gary Vee. I started seeing everything I was saying about NFTs. And he said that when you buy an NFT, you gotta worry about 2 things. You gotta worry about who's behind the NFT, who's the community behind it, and what's the IP behind it. Because 98% of all NFT projects will fail and will die in the next upcoming years.
Yeah, I've heard Gary Vee. There's so many people talking about this, bro. I'm on group chats, and a few friends of mine have dropped hundreds of thousands of dollars on pictures. So that's why I wanted to bring you on and for you to tell us a little bit more about the industry, right? For those of you that don't know, explain to us a little bit about what is an NFT. Why are people spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on a picture, right? Why does it make sense? Where's your head at with this? Like, why do you see a wave into this whole NFT industry?
Alright, so I'm gonna put it in a way that like everybody can understand it, right? So looking at NFT, yes, it is a picture. It can be a video, right? It can be anything that you can add to it. But basically, look at it as not just a wave of social capital, but as a way of like holding something that is unique, and the rest of the world knows that it is unique because they have access to it. It's public, it's in the blockchain, and everybody knows about it. Years ago, there was a guy by the last name of Devlin, right? Mm-hmm. And he invented a term that's called Devlin goods, right? Okay. Which is why middle class and lower class people, they buy Gucci and they buy Chanel and they buy all these different things because it gives them a type of social status. Like these big brands, they don't only sell to the rich class. Their targets are middle class and lower class people, right? Those are their ideas.
Yeah, so basically it's a way of saying I got money. So it's basically a way of showing everybody, hey, I bought a Bored Ape, right? I saw those going for like 100 ETH. It's pretty crazy because I saw them on floor price. They were trading about 80 ETH, and in a matter of like 4 or 5 days, that thing went up all the way up to 120, 118 ETH. So it's basically what you mean by social, social recognition, social capital is like it's people the new wave of people saying I have money. Right? I bought this picture, everybody knows how much that's worth, so it's a way of people showing and telling everybody, hey, I'm able to buy this, so that means I have money. It's like buying a Rolex. Correct. It gives you style.
It's like the good thing about NFTs is that it brings the concept of Devlin goods to a whole new level, because you don't need thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars to own a Devlin good now. Literally, I bought NFTs for $60, right? And they go open price to points that they're at like 10,000, 20,000, and now that's a Devlin good, but you didn't have to pay that amount of money for it. So NFTs makes Devlin goods something that anybody can be a part of. And now you can build that social capital even if you didn't have that amount of money first. Now, if you, let's say you minted a Bored Ape years ago for a couple $100, now you can be going to this like huge yacht parties and parties where they have like
big communities. So tell us a little bit about the communities, because I've seen that some of our close friends, they're buying, right, this apes, right, this Bored Apes, and it's not only about the social capital, what you were saying, but it's also about the community that this apes give them access to. So it's not about what it's worth or how much they're making as an investment, but the network that they get to relate and talk to just because they own one of these fine, pieces of art, basically, right?
So there's a big story on YouTube going on of a young guy, he's like 18, 19 years old, and a lot of people are asking him, like he minted one of the Bored Apes for a few $100s, right? And a lot of people are saying, yo, you should sell this right now. You can sell it for like fucking like $400,000, right? He's like, no, I'm not gonna sell this. Because with this, I get access to like the people that ain't around me. So this guy's going viral. There's an interview that I don't know his name right now, but that's basically the power that he has. Like you bought it for a few bucks, and now it goes up in price because there's a hype, there's community behind it. It is a new trend, and more and more companies are like adapting to it every day. So you gotta take advantage that when you get an NFT for such a low value, for such a low price, and it goes high in price, you gotta make two decisions: do I sell it, or do I keep it and use the utility that he has?
So let's talk utility for a second. What is the utility that some of these NFTs that you're buying have? Like, so people understand what's the capacity that this whole industry has behind it? What's the potential that it has? What is some utilities or some NFTs that you say, okay, this thing gives you access to X, Y, Z? Like, do you know any specific NFTs with utilities right now?
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. And I remember when I got into NFTs, I thought it was just about the parties, about the events, right? About, hey, if you want this NFT, you can go up to the 16th floor, like X building, and they're gonna let you into our party, right? Because you're one of the holders. But I watched some videos of Gary Vee, and he goes above and beyond, talking about like real world utility that they're giving to NFTs, right?
Okay.
So in the future, we're gonna see like houses being sold on NFT format, right?
Mm-hmm.
As a coin. So if you want to buy a house, you don't have to buy the whole house, right? You can actually buy parts of the house, right? You can partner with certain people.
Bro, no lie, my dad was talking to me about this the other day.
No fucking way, bro.
Tokenization. This guy tells me, bro, there's someone in, I think it was Korea or something like that. He goes that they're going into a project. They're doing a building, 200-300 units, something like that, and they're tokenizing the building, which means that you can just come in and buy a piece of the building for $1,000, for $2,000, and make a little piece of what the revenue of that building is going to be. Is that what you're talking about?
Bro, it's like buying a Bitcoin, but you're not buying a Bitcoin. You're buying a building, right? And you can buy pieces of it.
Okay.
And if it goes up in value, it goes up in value, like determine a certain amount of money that you put into it. But that is all going through, be done through the blockchains and through NFTs. So you're gonna be able to see everything that has been going on. And now, since it is done through an NFT contract, you got royalties. So when you sell the house, like in perpetuity, you're gonna be making a certain percentage no matter how many times the house sells in the future. Because you are the one who built it, you put it into the contract.
Yeah. Basically, like everybody knows you own it, and you're
in perpetuity then forever. Like every time the house sells in the future, you're gonna be getting a cut of that.
So how big do you think this will get? Like if we're talking about scalability, I mean the technology is there, and if it gets into real estate, I'm pretty sure it already has, but the buildings, the houses, the contracts, all of that, right? It can be tokenized.
Technology is already there. NFTs have been going around for like 40 years. I had no idea of this.
Yeah, I'm just like learning. The other day I sat down and studied NFTs for like 3 hours. Just watching the Gary Vee videos. I bought, I think, like $4,000 or $5,000 of NFTs. I call you, by the way. I'm up like $1,000 of NFTs. This guy tells me, yo, go buy some Disney NFTs on BB. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that right now. And I bought a few. I bought like 4 of them. And I'm already up like $1,500 in like a week. So it's pretty crazy. I bought a few other ones in Solana. I want to know. A few friends are buying. So it's like, it's there. I didn't know much about it, but now everybody's like getting into it. Right? So let's talk a little bit about flipping, right? Let's get into there. Let's talk about what you did. 3 weeks, $40,000 profit. How does that feel?
So let's start about how I was exposed to BB. So again, we go back to Gary Vee, man. That guy's just a beast, bro. Like his track record is just it's good, man. The way he speaks about things, like even if you don't believe in it, like you better believe in it because he's gonna push it so much that it's gonna become mainstream. Like he's going to push it. Whatever he comes out, he's going to push it. And he says community, number 2, license, IP. I had no idea what IP meant. IP means intellectual property. So who's behind the brand, right? Like Bored Apes is an IP. You have to look at it as an IP. All the rest of the projects are brand new IPs. Nobody knows, right? So you gotta be careful on those projects, but they're big IPs that have already been established, right? Like Disney. Disney has been putting out collectibles for years. DC has been putting out collectibles for years. So what they're doing is very simple. They're just bringing their collectibles from the physical world to the digital world. Wow. People are already buying, they already sold out all their physical collectibles in the past years. So what they're doing, they're bringing those collectibles to the digital world, and those people have not even arrived yet. That the people who are buying Disney and licensed NFTs are people, like entrepreneurs like us, or people that know a little more about technology. So imagine what's going to happen when the physical world collectors jump into the digital world.
So BB, that's where you made that much money.
Correct. So it talks about license. I researched on YouTube licensed NFTs, big IPs NFT, and everything that came up.
That's what you be buying on BB.
Correct. Just big licensed NFTs. Everything I came up with BB. So I started watching a few YouTubers, right? I got the app. I was invested as well on the coin on Omi, and they were the one behind BB.
Bro, I remember Omi.
Yeah.
Put some money in there, took it out, lost some.
so that was I'm a heavy investment.
Oh yeah.
Like after I was making money, we was like, yo, I gotta go into this crap.
Oh bro, I sold everything.
That's the only cryptocurrency that I'm assuming profits. After everything is
shit, you've been buying.
Yeah, bro. But yeah, I was investor ready, so I was like, yo, I gotta try this out. I bought a few NFTs. I never looked at it again, right? Also, I told her because I was watching the video, listening to e-comment things to see how the comment was doing, and the guy was saying, yo, things are pumping right now. If you have collectibles, it's a good time to sell. I was like, yo, I bought some. I should sell now.
Okay.
And I listed them all for sale for like 4 or 5 times the price that I paid for them. They all sold out on the same day.
No way.
I told you guys, and I was like, yo, I just made like this.
Yeah, I remember. You were going crazy with that.
Dude, I was like, if I did this, like with this, like random things that I bought, imagine if I actually started studying BB and everything that's going on behind it. So I started going for every single drop from that moment on. I started going for the drops. I catch a few drops. I catch a Wally at Disney NFT. Okay. And like, immediately I sold it for like $420.
So why are these drops I keep hearing about? Because you talk about it. You told me that there was a drop, I think, happening at 11 a.m. I forgot about it, bro. It was 12 and I missed it. I remember I missed it. But what are these drops? What basically means there's drops? It's not like minting NFTs?
Correct. So it's very simple. Think of BB as OpenSeas, right? It's just a different marketplace, right? So every time there's a new project that comes to OpenSea, they do a drop date. Like when we bought the chicken chips, that was their drop date, right? But BB's already an established marketplace, so they have drops every single day of the week, and you already know the drops that are going to be coming out, right? And basically, it's getting very hard to catch a drop. I haven't landed a drop with BB in the past like 15 drops, right? And there are some that I don't even go for them anymore because I realized that the drops are just a gift, a lottery. If you get lucky, yeah, you make some money, but the real money is buying the aftermarket. Like
because when they do the drops, it's hard to get them. It's not like everybody can.
They're very limited. They just came out with a statue the other day that was 8,888 editions, and there's 3 million users inside the app.
Makes sense.
So they say that only a percentage of that goes for the drops. If you have 200,000 people going for 8,000 editions or something, sometimes like it even like freezes out. Sometimes there's so many people.
They crazy because at these drops they go for like $40-$50, right?
Bro, super cheap. There's no excuse for anybody to start this. You can literally go for a comic book drop that's $7. You get it up, you get a secret rare, you sell it for $1,000. Cheap. Like, you're not gonna get that type of return investment like anywhere else, man.
Yeah, it's hard. Crazy. So okay, aside from the drops, you talked about the marketplace, the aftermarket.
Correct.
So what happens after these drops? Everybody, whoever's gonna catch them, they call them. What happens after? Is there like a marketplace where you sell them and buy them, like you flip them, like what are you doing?
Correct. So right after the drop, and this is basically where I spend most of my time right now, I go, if I like a drop, I go for it. If not, I got to the point where I don't even go for a drop anymore. Because it takes time for me to be just ready for it and then like waiting to flip or resell.
Yeah, it's hard to get them.
So, and it's really hard to get them. So that's, for everybody who's starting, I recommend you do it. It's like free money that you can make. But if you already have funds you're ready to play with, the aftermarket is where it's at. So what I do, right after the market opens, I wait a little bit. Because like they don't all mint at the same time, right? And they get some of them take a little while to get your wallet, right? Yeah. Same thing happens in OpenSea, same thing happens everywhere else. So since let's say that they put out 10,000 and they have only given out 200, so people can manipulate the market a little more. They can raise the prices, but when they're all given out, people like just list everything they got, and the prices comes down a little bit because everybody starts undercutting each other to be able to sell. So I always wait. I don't buy right after the market opens. I wait till everybody gets their collectibles, they list it, and then I jump into the market and I try to snipe really good mints for a floor price.
Okay, that's what you do.
And if it is a hold, if it is a big IP, I just hold it, and you just gotta be honest to know when you sell. But we are so early still that whatever you're buying right now is going to be a minimum of like 1x in like the near future, because not a lot of people are jumping into like this licensed NFT stuff.
So when do you sell? Like, do you have a specific time frame where it's like, okay, I'm gonna invest into it, I'm gonna give it 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 3 months, see what happens, or are you holding some of these NFTs more of a long term to see what comes in the next few years? Like, what's your plan with these NFTs that you're talking?
I have a few of them that I'm currently stacking, right, like long term. I have a few of them that I'm probably going to sell next Christmas because they're Christmas NFTs.
Oh, it's Christmas NFTs.
Yeah, and I got them for super cheap. They're very undervalued right now, but there's some of them that I either wait to make a good profit on them, like 1-2x. Like for example, the Mickey that got to like $10,000, or like, hey, this is a good time to sell, because it's gonna take longer for Mickey to get to $30,000 to make a 2x, and for this new NFTs to do a 2 or 3x, right? So you gotta, it comes to your investment strategy. Like you're investing, it's like investing in crypto.
Yeah.
Like if you do a 2x on a cryptocurrency,
You gotta take profits.
You gotta think about it. Like, is it gonna do another 2x, or do I take profits, invest in something new that can do 2x faster? So this is basically what you do in the aftermarket. But as long as you're holding like grails, what they call grails inside the app, like there's like 6-8 grails inside the app, and they just like, no matter if there's a dip in the market, they either stay the same or go up. Like that's what I've been doing. I've been collecting those grails for long-term holds, and whenever I see that it goes like 1-2x, I take my profits and I invest in something new.
So where do you see this going? Where do you see this BB community, this BB app going? Where do you see yourself in the next few months to a year with all of this? Is there future plans? Is there a roadmap for BB?
Yes.
What do you have in mind?
So basically, the VV app is like it's going to be the gift shop. That's under the marketplace, right? So before Zuckerberg came out with Metaverse and all that shit, and like before any of that, VV was already talking about the Vverse, right? That's where I knew what a Metaverse was, because when I was listening to people talking about economy, they were talking about the Vverse and how would that burn even more Omi. Like right now, we're burning like 1 billion Omi a week just because of the VV app, right? So
I might go buy some more Omi, bro.
Bro, it's like it's crazy. I want to buy some more. But basically, we're gonna have the Vverse, right? And then VV is going to be the gift shop where you buy everything you need to have inside your Vverse, right? Like if we have gamification inside the app, you're gonna come to inside Vverse. If you have games in there, you gotta come to VV and buy your mighty marbles, like the people are gonna use to play the games inside the Vverse.
So VV's building a metaverse, basically?
Before anyone was talking about a metaverse, VV was building the Vverse. So I've been working on that for
a VVverse. So
there's a Vverse. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So
I have no idea about that.
Yes. And right now you can stake your own inside the app, and you can buy land with that.
Inside the VVverse. Inside. Bro, there's so many things right now. NFTs, metaverse, BBverse now. I had no idea that even existed.
Yeah, man. I would say like future plans is just stake like 25% of my own, buy land inside the Vverse. Be one of the first people there to buy land.
So you go all in on this BB thing.
Bro,
that's it.
It has changed my life, bro. It has changed my life in a big way. I never expected any of that to happen. But then in like 2 weeks or so, I just pumped. And some collectibles did like 5x. And I was like, what the fuck, bro? Like right now, we are on a little dip. And like on Wonder Woman, I'm seeing up like 300%. Like, I'm like, what the fuck is going on, bro? Even with that dip going on. So, yeah, man, I'm going all in on it. Studying more, doubling down on research, YouTube videos. Because there's so many things that we don't know, have no idea of. Bro.
Yeah, there's just so many things. Bro, I've been in crypto now for like a good 3 years, I think. And I'm active in the market. I'm in the charts every day. I had no idea about all this thing that was going on with NFTs. I've heard about it. I've, some friends that have gotten into it, but I never paid too much attention to it. And I was looking at those Bored Apes, bro. Wow, 9 months ago they were going for nothing, pennies on the dollar, and 0.06 ETH, something like that 9 months ago. And it's like crazy where they at now. So I see what's happening. I see the movement. There's a lot of people involved. There's a lot of hype around it. And I was listening to Gary Vee the other day, and he does talk about it. He says that, I think you talked about it at the beginning of the podcast, that most of these NFTs are not going to go anywhere. Because there's so many different collections.
Oh no, bro. So there's a lot of fallout. There's a lot of projects that are just like taking people's money. Like
yeah, I saw that with the mints and like anybody can launch a collection.
Yeah. Bro.
So it's like if there's not a real team behind it, if there's no the vision is there, there's a good project with good fundamentals, anybody can launch one.
Anybody can have a roadmap, man. anybody can have a roadmap about it.
Yeah,
I can set up a roadmap right now and tell you everything I'm going to do. So you gotta look at the track record of the people like behind the project, everything that's been going on. Like the people behind Vivi, like the guy that the CEO of Vivi is one of the holders for the Pokemon license worldwide. He uses it on his business right now. His business are like based on like real world collectibles. He's like best friend with Alpha, which is the current holder of the Pokemon license worldwide and the person that brought it to the US. So the reason why people know Pokemon in the US today is because of Alpha. It's like the best, one of the best friends of Vivi CEO. So these people have a big track record of things that they have done, and
they're good trying for what it seems.
When you're working with the U.S. government, like they're in partnership with the U.S. government, they have like the U.S. government is coming out with NFTs. If you didn't know that, it's like Vivi. So when you have partners like that, like the U.S. government, like Disney, like bro, these people don't partner up with anyone like that. Like Disney have a big reputation over the years, and they're not gonna just throw it away for like.
No, that makes sense. When I saw that and you showed me like the drops that they were doing, you know, the Mickey, the Beanie, all of this stuff is you know, it makes sense. I feel it's just gonna take some time. It takes time for all of this to come to fruition and kind of like, you know, everybody figured out what way they're going. Because I feel right now is everybody
we're not even started, man. Like,
this is like super early.
Like the people who are buying right now are just investors. They're the average people. The reason why I'm buying this is I bought crypto before and I know a little bit about how things work, but the average individual is not coming inside this market yet. So we don't like. Eventually, in the future, to go to Disney, you're gonna have to buy an NFT pass. Like there are companies already that are launching like yearly pass on NFT format. If you want to get access to it, you gotta buy the NFT.
Isn't it that similar to what Gary Vee did? I think Gary Vee, this guy came out with a collection of just drawings and he sold it for millions of dollars. What was that?
So he has come out with like I think like 3 collections as of right now. The first one, I mean. You gotta understand that Gary Vee is an influencer for influencers.
Yeah.
You gotta get that right, man.
Yeah, he's a brand.
So the influencers look up to Gary Vee. So he started before he came up with the own collection, and he called out like Logan Paul and like 35 other different influencers. Say, hey, CryptoPunks are gonna be the next big thing. I'm letting you know right now. He had already loaded up his bag. He has like over 50, I think, right now.
Oh wow.
And like, dude, he's an influencer for influencers. Like, these people know what he's done. So they went in, they bought a bunch of CryptoPunks and started promoting it too.
And that thing just took off.
Just took off like a rocket. It's like the #1 product right now. After that is War Apes, and after that is Vivi. It's getting there, bro. Market cap. And then what he did, he came out with his own collection, the Doodles, right? This is like drawings and shit.
Yeah.
But basically, like, and this is how I want to start promoting my collection as well. Like he says,
launching a collection, tell us.
Yes, that's right. But Gary Vee says that when you launch your collection, you gotta take this as your next 5-10 year project. Like people need to see your confidence on the fact that you're gonna keep adding value to it. So every single day, Gary Vee tries to come out with something new. Like he tries to come out with a new utility for the NFTs or with a new value. And he pushes this the fuck out of his projects on every single interview. So if you tell people that you're gonna push their NFTs on every single interview that you do, like people are holding these things. They don't want to sell because you know, like you're going to make their money's worth, and that's what Gary Vee is doing. He just came out with a book in NFT format, and he had new things to do with that book to trade it in IMX, a new marketplace on ETH Layer 2. And like he gets it. He understands where he's going. He knows you gotta push it too. Yeah, and he's really pushing it, man. Like he's pushing it not only to the mainstream, but like he's making sure that people that hold his NFTs are making a hell of a lot of money. Man, I want to buy some NFTs.
That's great. That's insane.
And we could have gotten these NFTs on the drop. He dropped it. We did.
So when is he dropping another one? I want to get one of these drops, bro.
I'm not sure what it is, man.
But he's doing another collection. Is he working on another collection right now?
Yes, I think it's like always working on something, man.
Yeah, I saw him promoting something. I think he's working on another collection.
He posted a picture like drawing something new, so I'm sure he's coming out with something new. And
so where can you buy these? Is it on OpenSea as well?
So for Gary Vee's, I'm not sure where he did his first collection, but I know his second one he dropped it on IMX, which is like an OpenSea for Layer 2. The third one.
So IMX is a whole different marketplace. So BB is a marketplace.
Correct.
OpenSea,
It's a
Solana,
marketplace.
it's just different marketplaces.
Correct.
Okay.
And then we have Recur. It's a brand new marketplace, but they're working on their NFTs that they're putting out.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing it in a way that those NFTs are going to be interoperable on every marketplace. No matter if you're in the Go chain, no matter if you're buying ETH layer 1 or ETH layer 2, you're going to be able to transfer those NFTs around. So that's like a whole new project coming out.
Oh shit, you getting into that too?
See, yeah, bro. I'm not trying, and this is good for you guys too. If you think you're late, like take advantage of a project like Recur that is brand new and is coming out with like their first ever NFT.
So would you recommend someone that is starting on this thing and they don't know anything about NFTs, first time they come across this, what would you recommend them to do? Like what's like a good roadmap to guide people through this whole new industry? To learn not only about the utility that it has, because I feel everybody should get informed on the utility that NFT has, but also how can they make money? What's a good roadmap for someone that has no idea about NFTs and wants to make some money?
So if you have no idea what NFTs are, first thing you gotta do, you go to Google, you type in what's an NFT, enter.
Okay.
Right? That's what you're gonna say. Because you gotta know like what's behind the NFT. Not just like, hey, I gotta buy a project and I gotta become rich. Like what's behind it, what's a little bit of the technology behind it, why is it unique, why is your NFTs like one-on-ones or why is it not? So go to YouTube, I'm sure they do a lot of research. I'm still doing a lot of research. Like we have these new technologies and every day they come up with something new. So if you're not updated with it, you will fall behind eventually because things are moving really fast. So go to YouTube to stay updated. If you go to E-commerce Century, my YouTube channel, you can see a lot of the information that I put out. But I base most of my information on VV NFTs. So if you want to know what's going on inside the VV marketplace, go there for sure. And also Recur, which is a new marketplace. And you will be having the chance this month in February to buy their first ever NFT. First ever holds a lot of value. Always. So no matter if they come out with 20 more NFTs, this drop is going to be the first ever drop that Recur
of the marketplace itself.
Of that marketplace, yes. And also of the license, which is sponsored with Hello Kitty. So it's going to hold a lot of value and you get a chance to get it when there's not a lot of people there. So this one, you actually capitalize, you buy as many as possible, and then like in a few months from now, you're
So you would recommend people that are getting started, getting new into all of this and don't have a lot of capital, you would recommend them to start looking into new marketplaces like VV, Recur, all of this, instead of going for like OpenSea,
yes.
Big boys, you would say.
Definitely. So if you have 50K and above, yeah, it goes for more H. Don't even look at other projects. 4H, the very big collection is good, or CryptoPunks. The rest of the projects, you are betting on how well they're gonna do, and you're betting to see if the public accepts their IP, right? So if you want to protect your money as much as possible, just go for big IPs NFT, license, like premium license NFTs. Things that like people already like and people will buy. So don't risk your money on every single project that comes out. There are thousands of projects and
You're minting so many NFTs in the past few days.
Yeah, bro, like me too. We got in a few projects, they either haven't moved or they're down. Because like you gotta face it, there's like $10,000 NFTs just like that. There's $10,000 monkeys, $10,000 little things, little noodles out there. So you gotta go for licensed NFTs. That's number one if you want to protect your money. Number two, if you want to protect your money and you don't have a lot of money to start with, I would suggest you start getting your hands involved with NFTs inside Vivi. I think it's the most user-friendly marketplace out there. Okay. Like you don't need to set up your MetaMask wallet or your Ghost wallet. Like you can just go there.
Bro, straight credit card
with your Apple Pay. You go like that, your Apple Pay.
I was going Apple Pay. That the bank called me. He's like, yo, what are you doing? Like, bro, I'm just buying NFTs.
Yeah, bro. It's so simple, and that's what.
But is it okay? Let's talk about that for a second. It's so easy to use. You can just go and buy with Apple Pay. Because I did. I just set up the BB account. It took me like 5 minutes to buy 4 of these NFTs. But it only lets you deposit $600.
There, number one, you can see how early we are. Like big whales, like people with a lot of money, they're not even coming in yet. Because imagine if they want to put in $5 million inside the app and they do it like one at a time. And even like with that like amount of like barrier when it comes to whales to jump in, every single day they're buying between 2 million and 5 million gems, which is the currency that. So there are $2 to $5 million coming inside the app every single day, and right now they cannot leave the app yet. So that's why we're seeing like a lot of more liquidity later, and we are going to see soon Omi to NFT. So like that's a big catalyst for the NFTs that everybody's waiting for. They said it's ready, but they don't want to let it out yet.
So basically what Vivi is going to do is that the currency, instead of being gems, how it is right now, is going to be Omi.
Correct.
Right. Okay.
So people were never meant to cash out of the app on fiat, right? That was never meant to be a thing, right? The Omi was always going to be the coin inside the app, and you were going to cash out through crypto, right? So, but people in different countries didn't have access to it, so they implemented the fiat, right? So you can cash out, and they've been working on this for a little while now, because it was not on their plans. It was just like a straight crypto app. And it has benefited them a lot because like it's a big, it cuts a big barrier for people that are brand new to just jump in and buy something with like a credit card. You don't have to use a wallet. So it's good for the mainstream people to come in and take advantage of it. But it's also bad in the way that big crypto whales are not coming in yet. So right now, when you start doing only NFTs, it's like a whole different game. And
no, I see it. I mean, right now, just with like regular payments, credit is just coming in so much money. Once they open up the gates to crypto, it's just gonna be, it's gonna be huge.
So like one of the things I would think that they will do before Omi to NFT inside the app, I think they would just let us find and list our collectibles inside IMX. Which is the marketplace where he has his collection.
Yeah.
So all the collectibles are already minted inside IMX. So the minting is already done. It's just for them to, they have an AMA tomorrow, maybe they put it out. Just for them to say, hey, starting X day, you're going to be able to list your collectibles from Vivi on IMX. And there people got paid with Ethereum, with Omi, with IMX.
So they're building the bridge. They're trying to build the ecosystem, basically,
Yeah,
to make sure that there's money flow, and then crypto will come in somehow.
So they were a startup, right? They were still a startup, and they started in the gold change, right? Mm-hmm. But people were saying, hey, this gold chain, like this is not NFTs, like if it's not on ETH, like we don't think it's an NFT. So they're like, hey, don't worry, we're gonna like transfer everything to ETH. And bro, like the past year they were just working on minting everything. Like all the Omi tokens were reminted on layer 2 ETH right now. Like it was just migrated everything to ETH layer 2, and all the actual collectibles were as well minted in layer 2, which is IMX. So now in a matter of weeks, we're gonna be able to list our collectibles to be bought with crypto.
Nice. Wow.
Yeah.
That's
so huge. Hopefully, dude, the math I'm doing is that people are paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for random monkeys. It's not even for apes.
Yeah.
Just random prices.
Yeah, no, there's some NFTs out there going crazy.
Imagine what's going to happen when you're able to sell the first Superman ever minted in the blockchain. Ever.
Because basically BB has like Disney has a license with BB, and BB is the only marketplace that is able to that was able to mint Disney's NFTs.
So as of today, BB is the only place that has all these different licensed NFTs already put out. There's new marketplaces like Recur that they as well have all the licenses, but they haven't come out with the NFTs yet. But the moment that they come out with the NFTs, it's not gonna be the first time ever. The first time ever happened on Vivi, and this is a good discussion because Gary Vee is bullish on Recur because he has a big bucks investor there, right? Okay. And he's not wanting to speak a lot about Vivi because like they're a direct competitor, right? And then Gary Vee says, yeah, man, but if Disney comes out with an NFT on Recur, it's gonna be the first time that they minted on their Recur app, and then
but it's not gonna be the first time minted because there was already a first edition.
But Gary Vee was very big on this, right? And he made a big noise in our community. And Disney and Marvel came out with a tweet saying that these are the first ever minted NFT in the blockchain. Like, they literally had to come out with a tweet because people were saying, wait, they put it out on our blockchain now. It's just the first time ever that these NFTs were minted. And if you bought a comic book, Marvel Comics #1 in 1964, right, when he came out, you're a millionaire today. So
you're saying it stack up on me.
I'm saying it stack up on this NFAs, on this first
editions, the first one that came out.
Yes. Because in the next upcoming years, you're going to have thousands of new editions.
Bro, I bought 2 minis.
This guy's making money. This guy's a profits.
I bought 2 minis. I bought a Donald. Oh, what else did I buy?
You bought a Pluto, you bought a Donald, and 2 minis.
There you go. A Pluto. I have the whole thing, bro. I might have money to leave today and see what's up.
Yo, you're sitting on some money there, bro.
Who knows?
What
Bro?
a few too.
Who knows?
Yeah,
I saw you're pretty heavy. That's good, bro. I'm excited for you. It's pretty crazy how you can go from like, and the main goal, what I'm trying to do with this podcast is to put together stories like yours, you know, stories like mine where you know, we're college dropouts. We're not supposed to be here. This is not even our first language, bro. I mean, you can see it. It's like,
we're really not supposed to be here, man.
we're not supposed to be here, and even though we're not supposed to be here, and even though most people around us that grew with us and that were raised with us, like, nobody's here, and we got here, then you all can do it. That's what I'm trying to do. Not only with this podcast, but with everything that we're building in our communities. Like, the goal is to bring out these stories, just like yours, where like you drop out of college, you went all in yourself. I'm pretty sure you went through ups and downs, and more downs than ups. But like, look where you at right now. You were able to clear $40,000 in a matter of 3 weeks, bro, online, sitting in your computer at your house. Isn't it that crazy? That is the stories that I want to put out there to let people realize, to show people what is possible to do if you really focus on your craft, if you go all in yourself, and you find that one vehicle that takes you there. Because I'm pretty sure, you going all in on BB, you're there. You'll be making hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars in the near future. And if it's not BB, something else. The point is the environment, the community, the self-development, the foundation that you had is what got you to where you're at now.
Yes, so the foundation was big. I don't think I would have done this if I didn't know about business, about an LLC, about credit, about business credit, about leveraging credit. And this, like, the best thing I can leave you guys here today with is that don't let the lack of money inherit you from making more money. That's what Jim talks about that. And like I said, like the last month of the last year, my income was at zero pretty much for like a few months at the back after they shut down the stores and all that. And like crypto was going down as well. So I had a lot of money invested in crypto for like different like things that we got money from, and we had quite a bit of debt on different loans and shit. And I was like, dude, like, do I just play it safe and try to save what I have right now to be making the monthly payments and all that? Or do I get this business credit card and like push the fuck in?
Oh, that's a conversation for another podcast. Because we need to talk leverage, we need to talk credit, we need to talk financial literacy, self-development. There's so much to talk about that it all goes back to the lack of awareness. And that's what you were just saying is like knowing how to set up an LLC, knowing how to, literally just basic stuff that you can literally Google and it's right there for completely free. Most people don't know this, right? There's a lot of people out there our age, 20, 23, 24 years old, that they don't know this information, and use that lack of information is what keeps them away from success.
Like I was buying NFTs that I hadn't invested like a lot of money yet, but when I bought my first Mickey, that's when I realized how important like this credit is. Because I was like, I know it's going to go from here. It's at $3,000 already, but I know it's gonna make it to at least $10,000. And I called this out on all my social media. I said, Mickey's gonna be at $10,000 before February, and it hit $11,000. So. We got that down. So I bought 2 Mickey's, like $3,000. I gotta do this, man. So I put it was total like $70K on credit card. Then I bought these 2 Mickey's, and really both went to $11K. I didn't sell like $11K, but I made a good profit on both of them. And I bought these new ones right now, using that money to just make more money and try not to keep it.
That's the game. That is the game of entrepreneurship. Like, nobody comes out with their first business and they make millions. It just doesn't happen. Like, it doesn't. That's what people need to understand out there. It's like, you're not supposed to like try one business model and boom, make a lot of money. Like, you're not supposed to do that. And even if you do that, like, even if you're like, yo, that's it, first business, boom, make hundreds of thousands of dollars. Guess what? You are probably going to lose it all, because when you gain that much momentum that fast, the outcome is almost, inevitable to where you're probably going to lose it all, because you don't become the person to have that type of income. You just get there. So I feel sometimes you need to go through a struggle. It's good to go through the downs, and it's good to go through all that process, because then when you get there, you have a solid foundation. So I would rather, someone take them 5 years, 3 years to make their first million than someone just out of the box and make their first million in 6 months. Because the one that made it in 6 months is probably going to lose it faster than the one that took 5 years to make it. Because it's just that consistency again and again and again and again of failure to failure to failure to failure builds them up to not $1 million, but builds them up to the person that is able to earn $1 million. So it's not about having $1 million in the bank, it's about being a millionaire. And it all goes back to your mindset, your foundation, and your self-development. Because you can have $1 million in the bank and not be a millionaire.
And you're gonna need that backtrack and that experience for your subconscious to call the right decisions. And that's what follow your gut. That's what you said at 10, follow your gut. Like without that experience, your gut is lost. You don't have the track record. Your gut's gonna be happy. So
it takes time. It takes time. And, we're seeing it with you. It took me forever. Everybody around us, it just takes time. So it is okay to go through failures. It is okay to go through the trials and tribulations. It is okay to fail, lose it all, go back up, do it again, and again, and again, and again, because that's entrepreneurship. And that's what we love about it, right?
Yeah.
There's no certain. You don't know next week where you're going to be at.
When someone asks you, what do you do for a living? Or what's your business? What do
I say now, right?
What do I do? But yeah, man, and I don't think we are close to hitting that one thing that, we made it big. I don't think we're close to finding that yet. Yeah, I think we're the biggest hits we're gonna have. We're not even seeing them yet. It could be NFTs, maybe NFTs help pilot the way for that. Yeah. But I don't think, at least in my case, I don't think my big business or big breakthroughs are here just yet. I think we're just building more towards it. Dropping down this new NFT collection it's helping me a lot, to understand new things. That could potentially help the next big business that I do. When I have to figure it out, okay, how do I integrate a wallet to a website so that they can mint their NFTs to my website?
Yeah, you're creating the foundation right now, basically.
It's definitely gonna be a future. I see that you should be learning. If you take your future serious, learn about the technology, learn about NFTs. In the upcoming years, you should be familiar with it. You should have a computer if you don't have one yet. You should be learning about NFTs, the technology behind it, real world applications, because most of the things that you're learning in college right now, if it's not related to NFTs and new technology, it's going to be a little bit outdated if you want to make big money in the future.
No, I'm with you. I'm excited for you, bro. This is good. This is good. This is the first one. This is the first time we do a podcast.
Let's go.
I just had a honor to have him on the first ever. How do you say it? First edition?
Maybe, I don't know, when you have 100 podcasts, we can come up with an NFT for every single podcast.
NFTs, bro.
How if the number 1001?
Let's go.
That's not a problem. I'll make sure you can literally come out with an NFT for your podcast.
Bro, I'm planning on growing this thing little by little.
50%.
Let's go. It's gonna be a journey. It's gonna take a lot of work. It's gonna take a lot of patience. It's gonna take day in, day out. But little by little, bro. Little by little, I want to bring on stories just like yours to tell people what it is that they can do. Show people that you don't have to come from millions. You don't have to have already a lot of money to make money. You just have to be hungry and want it, and be in the right environment and all these things. And you can have $40,000 a month like this guy over here, big boy Poppy, big Poppy Chris. Let's go. So I'm excited for you, bro. I've seen your journey. I mean, from that first business that we ever did to now, you have come pretty far. You have grown a lot. You have learned a lot. And not only about the money, because the money is just a number behind it, but about the person that you became to make that money, right? To build what you're building right now. So I'm pretty excited about that. So let's tell the audience, just to wrap it up here, where can they find you? What's the best way to get in contact with you? If they have any questions about NFTs, do you have a course? Do you teach people how to do this thing? You have a community. How can they reach out to you if they have questions about NFTs?
So I appreciate you having me here. It's freaking excited. Live Mastery first ever podcast. I'm very excited to be part of Live Mastery too. Very pumped about that. I think it's gonna be a big project for the future of all of us. So I'm very thankful for you having me here. And for everybody, the easiest way to find me and reach out to me is called Instagram _Cristian Made. Go there, send me a DM. Either myself or someone from the support team. We'll get back to you.
We got a support team now, bro. Come on.
If you want to find more information about NFTs and how I perceive NFTs and what I think the future for a lot of these NFTs is going to be, go to my YouTube, e-commerce century. The moment you type that in, it's going to show up right on top. We are 500 followers right now, on the way to 100,000. So
yo, go subscribe. Don't even subscribe to this one. Just go subscribe to this guy's channel. This guy's gonna make you more money than me probably in the next few years with NFTs. So go subscribe to this channel. And that's amazing. We're gonna drop all the details down below. So if you want to follow, go follow him. Go reach out. Go ask questions. He will try to get back to you as fast as possible. And guys, you make sure to subscribe. Give us a like, give us a subscribe. We're going to be coming out with a lot more content. A lot more people that I'm going to be interviewing and getting their stories and see how they got here. And we'll probably, do another podcast with Cristian.
That's right. Once we have it.
We'll probably bring him on again. We'll bring him on again once he hits the million, once he hits the $100,000 mark. We'll bring him in because I want you guys to hear a little bit more about his story about his entrepreneurship journey. This was a lot more NFT focused, but I do want to bring him on so you guys can hear and see everything he has gone through to get here, because that's what really matters, is that there's a story behind every success. There's a lot of failures. And I'm not here to talk to you just about the success stories. I'm here to bring on the failures that people have gone through so you can learn from them and you don't have to go through them yourself. So guys, that's Live Mastery Podcast episode number 1. It is a wrap. So go subscribe to the channel. Go follow me on Instagram, Manny Campos. Go follow Cristian.
Let's go.
Let's build this thing. And if you got any questions, if you want to see anybody on the podcast, just drop it down below in the comments. I would love to see. I would love to hear your questions and get to know you a little bit better. And maybe you're one of those success stories that one day is going to be sitting right here with me, sharing your story. So I'll see you in the next one. Let's roll, baby.
Let's go. We're going to open it.